Tonight on CCX News, a Maple Grove Elementary School hits a literacy jackpot and has a volunteer mom to thank. Plus, addressing a firefighter shortage, how the solution may come from lawmakers. But first, signs of homelessness sheds light on a growing suburban problem. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. It's hard to imagine living outside in a Minnesota winter.
But that's apparently what is happening in Brooklyn Center. We get more now from Eric Nelson.
We don't know if anybody's staying there or exactly what's going on with it. Our intention is to get it removed. It's very unsightly.
The ramshackle tent is just a few yards from a major Twin Cities interstate. It's next to picturesque pines, a frozen pond, and a freeway sound barrier.
That property is MnDOT property, not the property of the city of Brooklyn Center. So Brooklyn Center Police Department and our Public Works are working with MnDOT to have the tents removed.
Someone is apparently living in the tent, trying to survive a frigid Minnesota winter.
As long as it doesn't bother people, then it's okay for that person to be there, you know?
But legally, that is not the case. According to MnDOT, camping is absolutely forbidden on their property and is against the law. Now, the tent is located on the other side of this wall. I'm standing in a city park, just a few feet away from this quiet Brooklyn Center neighborhood. We spoke with two residents, and they did not even know about the tent.
No, not at all.
Nope, I was not aware of that at all. Nope.
Instead, they expressed compassion for a person trying to brave the freezing elements in a makeshift tent.
I think it's kind of sad, to be honest. Like, I've been seeing a lot of homeless people, and there's nothing that we really can do about it besides try to get them help, you know?
The ultimate solution is to get them help. You know, I hear of these shelters that are helping people move forward, get jobs, get apartments.
No one knows what will happen to the tent, but on this block, no one seems too concerned about the close proximity of their mystery neighbor.
I guess as long as it doesn't bother them or get in the way of their life, then I guess it doesn't really matter to them, you know?
In Brooklyn Center, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
A 2015 Met Council report shows poverty has doubled in the suburbs, outnumbering the needy in Minneapolis and St. Paul.
A Brooklyn Park man is charged with fatally stabbing a pregnant woman who was carrying his unborn son. 23-year-old Vern Moel is accused of using a pocket knife that killed Sanitia Lessman and led to the death of her 32-week-old fetus. Lessman's mother found the woman bleeding and unconscious in her Eagan apartment on Tuesday. According to the charges, the victim's cell phone and bloody clothing were found in an SUV used by Moel. Neither police nor prosecutors have revealed a motive for the killing.
Firefighters are in short supply among fire departments around the metro, and now fire chiefs are turning to the state legislature for help with recruitment and retention.
Effort is great because our industry needs to acknowledge that we have some challenges moving forward here on maintaining a paid on-call department.
Golden Valley is one of many cities in Minnesota that uses paid on-call firefighters. It's a model that requires them to drop what they're doing at a moment's notice when a call comes in. It can be a lot to ask of a firefighter, and departments see high turnover as a result. That's why fire chiefs are asking the legislature for things such as a tax-exempt retirement package to help recruit and retain firefighters.
I don't think there's a single answer that's going to work for any one community. So everybody's trying to figure out what's going to be the best answer, the best solutions for a sustainable model moving forward.
It costs about $27,000 to train and equip someone to be a firefighter. Governor Mark Dayton has signed a compromise bill meant to reduce health insurance premiums.
125,000 Minnesotans buy individual health insurance but earn too much for a government subsidy. And they were facing much higher premiums this year. The compromise at the legislature includes a 25% subsidy and reforms pushed by Republicans. There was debate over those reforms and why it took so long for an agreement.
What happens when somebody gets a cancer diagnosis they weren't expecting and they don't have insurance? They've decided to pay the penalty because we took 90 days to do what we could have done even before the election.
I know that you just wanted to bring the relief with no reform. But it is our job as fiduciaries of the state of Minnesota, as leaders of the state, and as lawmakers to make sure that we don't just throw money at the problem, that we actually try to begin to fix the problem that brought us here in the first place.
One of those reforms would allow for-profit HMOs to enter the Minnesota market.
Chances are pretty good that you know someone at work or school who's been out sick this week. The Minnesota Department of Health says the flu is now widespread. So far this year, more than 300 Minnesotans have been hospitalized with influenza, 45 in the past week. No deaths have been reported, but health officials say flu season can last all the way until April. And even though it's still the end of January, a flu shot can still help.
Golden Valley wants to make sure it's prepared to respond in case of natural disasters and other emergencies. And the city launched a survey this week. 13 questions touch on a variety of issues like planning for flooding, extreme heat, and air quality. A member of the Minnesota Green Corp, which is part of the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, is helping to draft the plan.
You're looking to make Golden Valley a city that'll be strong and resilient in the future, and a lot of cities have to focus on sustainability and resilience to keep their residents safe and happy for the next, 40 to 100 years.
And you can find that survey on Golden Valley's city website.
It's been a busy week for packing food at Calvary Lutheran Church in Golden Valley. Volunteers have been working since last Sunday, packing meals for the nonprofit Feed My Starving Children. As of noon Friday, they were closing in on 500,000 meals. Most of the food is headed to Haiti. So far this week, 3,000 volunteers have pitched in. There are still openings for shifts on Saturday, though. Coming up, a Maple Grove school hits the jackpot to help with literacy efforts.
Then in sports, Maple Grove looks to knock off top-ranked Hill Murray and boys hockey.
But first, a weekend that's not too bad for late January. Temperatures stay near freezing.
It was a special anniversary Thursday celebrating Russian culture. Russian immigrants, many of whom call Plymouth home, celebrated the 25th anniversary of a Plymouth publishing business that produces newspapers and a magazine for the local Russian community. And the company has had to survive its ups and downs, as many have had to do in the publishing industry.
For the past few years, it was not very easy time for all newspapers, for printed newspapers, for printed publications. But we went through economical crisis and we survived and we're still here. So I hope that we have many years ahead.
Leo Gritchner came up with the idea when he moved to Minnesota and realized that the Twin Cities had no news source, especially for Russian immigrants. Well, researchers have discovered one way to beat back the blues is to simply stay off Facebook.
Between sorting through political posts or updates on exotic vacations, the social medium can make you feel depressed. But one Maple Grove mom saw a Facebook post that prompted her to take action, and it resulted in winning money for her school. Social media can get downright depressing, but in the middle of a Facebook feed for Elm Creek Elementary PTO, something positive.
We were just kind of fishing around for grants, and this actually just popped up as a sweepstakes, so we said let's just try and enter.
A volunteer found a sweepstakes from Campbell's Soup Company.
We put it out on our Facebook page to all of our families to enter our school, and then we got the email saying that we qualified.
The school became one of 100 to win a $10,000 prize.
Everybody remembers our whisper reading.
And the money went toward purchasing literacy kits that had been on the school's wish list.
Having that bank of interventions is really important, because if something doesn't work, we want to try a few different other sources to see if we can really increase those reading skills.
Elm Creek had success with this reading program at lower grade levels, so they wanted to expand it. But it was expensive.
Our PTO is very active and always searching for opportunities, and they stumbled upon this opportunity and were able to secure the funds for us.
The kits are used daily at the school, and teachers have high praise for them. But perhaps the school reserves the highest praise for the parents who got this ball rolling.
We have an amazing community that really wants to make sure that the kids are supported, and so when we put it out on Facebook, there was 125 families who saw our post, and they're the ones that helped contribute to make it happen.
Some of the money also went toward field trips for the students. A school from South St. Paul and another in Anoka were also listed on the winning list. So congrats to them. Coming up, a weekend idea that's all about keeping things fancy.
And first, it's a high-scoring battle as Champlin Park takes on Hopkins in a boys' basketball showdown. John Jacobson has that and more next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The top-ranked Champlin Park boys basketball team held off a rally by Park Center on Tuesday night to stay undefeated. Rebels figured to get tested again Thursday against number 6 Hopkins. Champlin Park's in white and Brian Smith nails a three for an early 7-0 Rebels lead. McKinley Wright drives and dishes to DJ Hunter for an open three from the corner. Hunter scores 8 in the first half, 12 in the game. Watch this one. Josiah Strong with the steal to Wright. To Theo John, the lob for the big jam. Rebels grab an 18-9 lead. Hopkins battles back though. Simon Wright's three helps them get right back in it. He scores 20 in the game. McKinley Wright has another great game for Champlin Park. He scores 27 with 10 assists and 10 rebounds. Ishmael Elamine steals the pass and sets up Anthony Davis for the layup. Hopkins gets back to within 11 at halftime. Second half, and Wright sets up Smith for a three that rattles in. Smith is part of a balanced attack, scoring 16. And this time Wright keeps it himself, sweeps across the lane to score with the left hand plus the foul. Marcus Hill strips it away from Elamine to score 2 of his 16 points, and the Rebels lead by 18. Blaze Beauchamp lights it up with 5 threes and scores 21 in the second half for Hopkins. But Strong and the Rebels stay in control for a 99-79 win. Variety of weapons Champlin Park has is hard to stop.
We got great shooters, so I mean, everybody can score the ball. If we went to all split up at different schools, I mean, we could all average 30 points a game, but that's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to share the ball and win games. Sharing the ball is the main thing. We stress assist a lot.
As we near the end of January, the big races are coming up in high school Nordic skiing. Worth Park, the site for the Lake Conference meet. Wayzata teammates Anders Sonesson on the left and Luke Goleen battle to the finish in the pursuit race with Sonesson winning. James Schneider is third for the Trojans, and they win the team title. In the girls' pursuit, Wayzata sophomore Mara McCollar wins her first conference title. Hopkins' Renee Anderson is the runner-up, and teammate Kaylin Jackson is third as the Royals win the girls' team title. We talked to winners Sonesson and McCollar following their races.
We have an incredibly deep team, and that's going to help a ton at state when, you know, it's really tight competition, and we've got so many guys out there that can really contribute to the team, and we really showed that today.
We definitely lost a lot of key players last year and graduated out a couple of girls who really scored a lot. But I think we did a lot of rebuilding over the summer. Like we worked really hard and we roller skied, and most of us run cross country or we mountain bike, and that's also really helpful. During the fall, if you're doing something else, it's really good. But we also Nordic train together, and it's like a great team. We work really hard and we're all really close.
Here's a look at the team scores. Wayzata wins the boys' meet with Eden Prairie second and Minnetonka third. Edina's fourth and Hopkins fifth. It's pretty close on the girls' side. Hopkins edges Eden Prairie by 13 points for the top spot. Wayzata is third, Edina fourth, and Minnetonka fifth. Section meets are scheduled for the week of February 6th. Besides the tough teams they see in conference play, the Maple Grove boys hockey team is playing a lot of great non-conference foes this season too. The 11th ranked Crimson took on number 1 Hill Murray at Aldrich Arena. Scoreless in the second period, Crimson on the power play. Justin Kelly lasers a shot. Top corner, 1-0 Maple Grove. Later in the second, the Pioneers got an odd man rush, but a great save by Crimson freshman Ethan Hayter. He stops all 24 Hill Murray shots, and Kelly adds an empty netter in the final seconds as Maple Grove wins 2-0. They'll face Centennial on Saturday. And Mike and Shannon, a reminder of live boys basketball tonight, Friday on CCX as unbeaten Wayzata hosts Minnetonka. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Still ahead, a fancy weekend idea the whole family can enjoy.
We'll be right back.
After 8 months, the Maple Grove Arts Center has a new home in the fountains at Arbor Lakes. The nonprofit's new home is larger than its previous location, and the new space came about through a donation from the company that owns the shops.
And Kimco said, well, we'll take a look at this, and that was around September. So they took a look at it. They said, we'd love to have you here. Let our board of directors take a look at this. They did, and they said, yes, we will donate the space, but you pay the utilities.
The new space is over 2,600 square feet in size and features 2 classrooms, a large gallery, a bar, and a gas fireplace. Grand opening is tonight, Friday night, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Well, finally, it's time to get your fancy on.
In today's Weekend Showcase, Neil Persley checks out Fancy Nancy at the Stages Theater.
That's one of the themes for Stages Theater's presentation of Fancy Nancy, based on the popular line of children's books about a very precocious young girl.
We think Nancy is about 6. We looked at a lot of her books. She's definitely in school, she's taking class, but not into anything too complex yet.
Everything Nancy does, she likes to be fancy, from the way she dresses to decorating her room to the way she talks. Maple Grove's own Zoe Hollander plays a very fancy Nancy.
She's quite intelligent, I think, because she likes to use these fancy words, but she uses them correctly. And she knows what they mean, and to her, it's why it's the best thing ever.
Here are some words that everyone should have in their vocabulary. That means all the words you know.
The boys are outnumbered almost 2 to 1 in Fancy Nancy's world, but Jackson Lyon plays the lead male character, Lionel. And Nancy's still considers him one of her buds, even though his main character traits are...
He's very silly. He likes cookies and sharks.
Not me. Fancy's for girls. That's not true. Hey, give me a cookie.
In the story, Nancy learns a valuable life lesson when instead of getting to play the glamorous mermaid in the school play, she gets assigned to play a tree.
I think it's a really nice message of accepting when things go wrong, but still being able to be there for your friends and support them.
Anyone under the age of 12 will enjoy and relate to this production, which I'm giving a rating of... Oh, come on, guys, this is too easy. You guessed it. F for fancy. For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, CCX News.
Of course, Fancy Nancy runs now through February 20th at Stages Theater in Hopkins. That looks like fun.
I think Nancy has the coolest hairdo I've seen in a while.
I think so. A lot of hair there. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
And we'll see you back here next week. Have a great weekend.